Hey guys, NielVTEC here, and today I'll be showing you how to do your oil change in basically any car, but more specifically on an Acura RSX, like the one right here. Now the first thing you want to think about before doing this job is to know where you're going to do it. It's not going to be ideal to do it in your driveway or in your garage unless you want to stain your pavement with oil, and we all know that it's very hard to clean. The place I would recommend you doing it is outside your driveway, in the streets, or in an empty parking lot. And make sure the ground is leveled wherever you decide to do it. The next thing you want to think about is the tools you'll be needing for this job. You'll be needing a new oil and the correct oil type for your car. If you don't know what it is, go check your owner's manual, Google it, or just simply check your oil cap. You'll also be needing a new oil filter and a new washer for your drain plug. In my case, I'll be changing the whole drain plug. We'll also be using some paper towel, some gloves, a funnel, an oil filter plier, and for an Acura RSX, it's going to be this size right here, a ratchet, and a breaker bar. Also make sure that you're using the correct socket size, which in an Acura RSX, it's going to be a 17 millimeters. An old drain pan, some jack stands, and a car jack, and finally, a cardboard. Now once you have everything you need, next thing you want to do is look at your oil filter. In my case, it's going to be behind the engine, right here. The blue one right there. In other cars, it could be located on top of the engine, in the bottom, or just like mine, behind the engine. Once everything's figured out, you can start jacking up your car. If you only have a car jack, you can jack it up by the side of your car, like this. Or in my case, if you have jack stands, you can jack it up in front of the car, right here. Jack up your car until you're comfortable with the space you'll be working on. Before jacking up your car, make sure your car is on park, or if you have a manual like mine, make sure it's in gear. And don't forget your e-brake. Once you set your jack stands, remove your car jack and place your cardboard. Just like that. The next thing you want to do is locate your oil pan. It should be black, or in my case it should say engine oil. And then place your drain pan on the engine oil just like this, and loosen up the bolt. So once you break it, use your finger. And one of the reasons why I suggest putting a cardboard before doing this is you can catch all the oil just like this. You want to make sure to always change your washer, but if you're one of those guys who never had trouble reusing the same washer, then I guess be my guest. Now when it's almost done dripping, take a paper towel and clean up the remaining oil. Just like this. Now take your new washer and place it in your drain plug. But in my case, I'm going to be using a new drain plug. Alright, now get your paper towel again and make sure to clean off the remaining oil. And one tool I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video is a torque wrench. This drain plug needs 29 foot-pounds. Just like that. And clean off your drain plug one last time. The next thing you want to do is place your drain pan right underneath your oil filter, just like this. Alright, next thing you want to do is take your oil filter wrench and loosen up your old oil filter. Alright. Once you loosen it up, use your hand to take it out all the way. And make sure not to drop it. Just like that. So the next thing you want to do is take your new oil filter and you're going to see a gasket here. You want to lubricate that with your new oil. And make sure to change your gloves because the last one's going to be dirty. So just like that, lubricate it with the new oil. It's a good idea to fill this up, maybe just a bit. So when you start up your car, it's not gonna be running dry. Just like that. Place your new filter back in, and careful not to drop it. For this one, you're not gonna need your oil filter wrench. Just use your hands. Now the next thing you want to do is to add oil. But before doing that, make sure the surrounding is clean. You don't want anything else going in there. It could damage your engine and you don't want that happening. So make sure it's clean like this. And the next thing is to simply add oil. In my case, my Acura RSX Type S takes about 4.7 US quarts. So 1 bottle of this. And clean all the oil that you spilled. Just like that. Close it up. And you're basically done, but what I'm gonna do and recommend you to do is run the engine for about 10 to 15 minutes just to make sure everything's fine and to check for oil leak. So the next thing you're gonna want to do is take all the things out and get ready to jack down your car. Now once that's done, jack down your car and let it run for 10 to 15 minutes. After 15 minutes or so, turn your car off and check your oil dipstick. Pull out your dipstick and be careful because it's going to be hot since you just run your car for like around 15 minutes. Wipe it off. Put it back in. So if you look at your dipstick, there's going to be 2 dots. This dot's going to be the low one and this one's going to be the high one. If your oil is above the low one, you're good. If it's over the max one, maybe you add too much oil, but that shouldn't be really a problem. And if it's below the low level, then your car is probably leaking oil and that should be a problem. But in my case, everything's fine, so I'm basically done. Just in case, check underneath your car if there's any oil leak, or in this case, check your cardboard. And there's only a dot here, which is normal because I didn't really clean off all the oil on the drain plug completely. So yeah guys, that's how you change your oil in your Acura RSX. This should take you around 30 minutes or an hour depending on how experienced you are. If this video helped you out, leave a like, subscribe to want more videos like this, and if you have any more questions, just leave a comment down below and I'll see you guys in the next video.